Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos, Baruchim Habayim. Delighted to welcome you as we may not be joining together in space, but we surely are in time this Shabbat. As we begin our service with the 92nd Psalm, you'll find it either on the visual tefillah in front of you or on page 140 if you have the Sidurim.
Mizmor shir leyom hashabbat. Mizmor shir leyom hashabbat. Tov lehodod l'Adonai ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור.
As I continue on page 126 for those of you with Sidurim, and as we go through the service again, those of you with Sidurim, if you're watching the visual tefillah, often the page number will appear in the upper or lower right-hand, sometimes left-hand corner, the page in brackets. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love one another, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us, and to bring that vision to life. As we continue welcoming Shabbat, Lecha Dodi, page 138.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'diborecha nishmiyanu. אלא מיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשמות תפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקרא קלה פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונחכים מגור המברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי 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 שדמרי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמונה עם סגולה. בואי חלה בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה ונשמה נקבלה.
And on pages 145 and 4, entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence.
יתקדע ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחיי חונו ויומי חונו ובחיידך בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעלם לעלמי עמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהלל ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי קודשה בריחו, אלא מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן.
And together, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach sh'arim, u'vitfuna mishanei itim u'machalif et hazmanim, misader et hakochavim b'mishmeroteyam barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, u'ma'avir yom u'mevi layla, u'mavdil ben yom u'vein layla, Adonai Tzevaot Shemo, El Chai v'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai, HaMa'ariv Aravim.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael, Amcha משפטים, אותנו לימדת, על כן אדוני אלוהינו ושוכבנו וקומנו נצליח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ויארך ימינו ובהם נגי יומם ולילה, נגי יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם מקום מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hearts, marching together.
Bye 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 bim bye 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 bim bye 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 bim bye 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 bim mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha nedar bakodesh doratehi lo nosefel doratehi lo nosefel מלכותך ראובנך בוקי הים לפני משה מרים זה אלינו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ים ביי 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 בים ים ביי 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 בים ים ביי 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 בים Yai bye 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 bim bam ונאמר כי פד אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Amen.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. העמידנו שומרנו לחיים.
Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai haporech sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. As we rise for tefillah. Adonai, שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד אלתך. Adonai, שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד אלתך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו אלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה אלוהי רבקה אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא אל עליון גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיה מתים אתה רב להושיע מוריד הטל מחכה חיים בחסד מחיה מתים ברחמים רבים תומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר מי כמוך בגבורות ומי דומה לך מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ולמען נטל החיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
On page 172. You set aside the seventh day for your name, the pinnacle of creation, and you blessed it above all other days, more sacred than all festival times. So it is written in your Torah, the heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God had completed the work that had been done, ceasing then on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, and ceased from all the creative work that God had chosen to do. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, eternal our God, grant as our heritage your holy Shabbat, that Israel who sanctifies your name may rest on it. Praise to you, eternal one who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Find favor, eternal our God, with your people Israel and accept their prayer and love. May the worship of your people Israel always be acceptable. God, who is near to all who call, turn lovingly to your servants. Pour your spirits upon us. Let our eyes behold your loving return to Zion. Blessed are you, eternal one, whose presence returns to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai machazir shchinato l'Tzion. We gratefully acknowledge with thanks that you are the eternal our God and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one whose mercies never end, O compassionate one whose kindness never fails, we forever put our trust in you. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Eternal One, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, atov shimcha, ulachana el lahodot.
Shalom Rav HaYisrael Amecha Tasim Leolam Shalom Rav HaYisrael Amecha Tasim Leolam Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom hashalom v'tov beinecha levarech et amcha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol ed ובכל שעה בשלומך שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
So we continue now in silent prayer. The traditional one, I don't know, may appear before you, but if not, whatever prayers your own hearts may prompt, or perhaps to meditate on this one I'll share by Rabbi Robert Kahn. Holy One, give me a quiet heart and help me to hear the still small voice that speaks within me. It calls me to come close to you and to grow in your likeness. It teaches me to do my work faithfully, even when no one's eye is upon me. It counsels me to judge others kindly and to love them freely, for it persuades me to see divinity in everyone I meet. Help me, O God, to come to the end of each day feeling that I used its gifts wisely and faced its trials bravely.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום
week to come. Among those couples who will be observing their wedding anniversaries are Joel and Jerry Biller, Hal Karras and Barry Foreman, Howard and Mindy Schumacher, Alan and Lynn Sidman, and Lupe Eugene Urt and Andrew Urt. And for them, this blessing, may the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless those who are celebrating the anniversary of their wedding at this season. May God bless them and deliver them from trouble and distress, from any affliction and illness. May they continue to be privileged to share many more years with their children and their children's children, devoted to Torah, mitzvot, and the performance of good deeds. May God bless them and prosper them in all of their worthy endeavors, as together we all say, Amen. And while we celebrate with all those who are observing their wedding anniversaries, no matter how many years, we're also blessed to have with us tonight a couple who is celebrating their silver wedding anniversary. And while we can't call them directly up to the bima, we are going to call them symbolically up to the bima. So I'm not sure how, oh, this is wonderful. So we have the Weidells before us. And so for the two of you, a special blessing. Praise the Eternal, for God is good, God's love is everlasting. 25 years ago, the two of you, Jeff and Adrian, voluntarily joined in a ceremony consecrating your love for each other. Your life together, you're sharing joy and sorrow. The lives of the daughters with which you have been blessed, and your continuing devotion to each other have nurtured and expanded upon the promise of your first hour as bride and as groom. Sing unto the Eternal a new song, for God has done marvelous things. Our God and God of our ancestors, we are grateful for the love with which you have blessed and sustained this husband and this wife, whose hearts are filled with gratitude to you. O God, may they continue to enjoy your blessings in the new song of their years to come, embraced by the love of their children, their daughters, and someday their children's children, of their friends and of this entire congregation, so they may always live in joy and gladness, in love and harmony, in peace and much health and companionship. As one whole congregation, we all say, Amen.
Amen.
Before you guys get to kiss each other, which I hope you'll do, and you should all know that Jeff had been very sick, and we are so thrilled that he is healthy and back with us. We also happen to have, it does exist, and I want to show it to you. Eventually, it will get to you. I'm not sure this is showing up because of the virtual backdrop on my screen, but it really is a document that indicates that you celebrated your 25th wedding anniversary together. And it says, this is the day which the Eternal has made. We will rejoice and be glad on it. Jeffrey and Adrian Weidel, having completed 25 years of married life, now we consecrate their marriage and receive herewith, oh, that sounds so official, our prayers for their continued happiness from the congregation, signed by us on this day. And you shall give thanks to the Eternal, proclaim God's name. Mazel tov.
עוד ישמע בהרי יהודה ובחוצות ירושלים, עוד ישמע בהרי יהודה ובחוצות ירושלים, כל ששון וכל שמחה, כל חתן וכל כלה, כל ששון וכל שמחה, כל חתן וכל כלה. מזל טוב.
As we continue with several special prayers, as we have been during this time. This first one by Rabbi Sarah Rich and Eileen Harkavehai. Hi ratzon milfanecha Adonai Eloheinu v'Elahei avotenu v'imotenu. May it be your will, Eternal One, our God and God of our ancestors, that you will support our footsteps on this uncharted journey. Guide us and our loved ones toward peace and wholeness, and help us reach our destination committed to life, joy, and peace, and unbroken by our new reality. Help us to know that our loved ones, whether near or far, are with us. Their love for us will sustain us wherever our journey might lead. As circumstances arise that had been previously unimaginable, help us to know that their love for us and ours for them is an unbroken bond. May those caring for them in our absence be blessed and held in this holiness of work. Though separated from them, we affirm that we are present with them through you, wherever our journey might lead. Like the pillar of cloud upon the Israelites as they wandered in the desert, you are ever present. We shall not fear. May you hear the sound of our prayers, because you are the one who hears prayers and supplications. Blessed are you, Eternal One, who ever hears our prayers. And this prayer by Rabbi Ayelet Cohen. Mishberach avotenu v'imotenu, may the one who blessed our ancestors bless all those who put themselves at risk to care for all of us. Physicians and nurses and orderlies, technicians and home health aides, EMTs and pharmacists, all those who navigate the unfolding dangers of the world each day to tend to those they have sworn to help. Bless them in their coming home and bless them in their going out. Ease their fears, sustain them. Source of all breath, healer of all beings, protect them and restore their hope. Strengthen them that they may bring strength. Keep them in health that they may bring healing. Help them know again a time when they can breathe, when we can all breathe without fear. Bless the sacred work of their hands. May this plague pass from among us speedily and in our days, as together we all say, Amen. So we continue now, for those of you in the Sidurim on page 371. Mishberach avotenu v'imotenu Avram Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarich Rachel v'Leah hu yivarech et hacholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those of our friends who are ill. Stephanie Abramson, Harriet Alinius, Eitan Shalom Allenberg, Rena Bat Devora, Allison Appel, Barbara Appel, Yaakov David Ben Freda Lesu Vinyamin, Coleman Shalom Ben Yaakov HaKohen, Julie Burson, Joel Bradley, Ruth Brown, Hannah Ruth Batsarva Abraham, Jason Campbell, Mackenzie Clyde, Johnny Crosswhite, Dina Bat Malkava Avram, Val Garrison, Peter Gilbert, Reese Bat Bela Gittel, Michael Greenfield, Philip Himmelfarb, Beverly Kamen, Rona Kimmel, Cy Colton, Malka Bat Chaya Mendel, Noah Kramer, Katie Kubiak, Larry Leal, David Lev, Beverly Levin, Ellen Levin, Ron Levin, Rivka Michal Bat Chanavi Yossi, Dan Marburg, Judy Marburg, Mindy Marburg, Brooklyn Marburg, Solomon Marburg, Gren McDoza, Sydney Miracle, Steve Ostman, Kathy Polzian, Doreen Sager, Dennis Salmonfeld, Barry Sinerva, Dorothy Spangenberg, Wendy Schuster, Shoshana Bat Betty Vaherschel, Joe Stockland, Kelly Cicino, Muriel Taffel, Betty Weitzen, Yehuda Ben Noemi Vizeleg, Joseph Whittefield, Marissa Whittefield, Carrie Huxley Yudkovich, Shulamit Bat Sarah, Plila Gila Bat Miriam, Baruch Zalkin Ben Tziporev Kela, Tsinya Bat Leah Kalman, Leah Bat Blema, Gershon Mordechai Ben Leah Ze'ev, Shoshana Penina Bat Chana Gershon, Hechazan Binyamin Ben Amuna Yehuda, Harav Chaim Ben Rachel Leah Tzvi Kohen, Harav Shira Bat Vera Yitzchak, Yafa Aviva Bat Leora V'Harav Noach. And those of you at home may wish to share some names among you. Again, they are all with us. May the Holy Blessed One be filled with compassion for their strength to be revived, their health to be restored. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of spirit and of body. May God grant wisdom and insight to those who bring healing. And may God grant courage and comfort to those whose struggles continue, as together we all say,
Amen. מי שברך אבותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו, may the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. מי שברך אמותינו מקור הברכה לאבותינו, bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of spirit, the renewal of body, and let us say, Amen.
we continue now with the, I am wrong. Continue now looking at Parashat HaShavua. Achrei Mot Kiddushim. Achrei Mot Kiddushim Tihiyu. Two separate parashiot, this year read together as one. And the words together this Shabbat help us, I would suggest, through this difficult time. For how do they translate? After death, you shall be holy. What is the response to Achrei Mot, the response to after death? It is Kiddushim Tihiyu, you shall be holy. Yes, the reference in the Torah portion called Achrei Mot is to the deaths of two of Aaron's sons, the deaths of Nadav and Avihu. But the following Torah portion, Kiddushim, which again is combined with Achrei Mot, has nothing to do with life after death or with burial procedures. Rather, it has everything to do with life and the way we live. In other words, our response to death is everything to do with life and the way we should live. That may be the best way to understand this week's combined portion as we face so many deaths all around us. Even take this week that we are finishing, from Yom HaZikaron, Israel's Memorial Day, to Yom HaAtzmaut, Israel Independence Day. Life and the way we should live. That should be our response to death as we continue our journey from Pesach to Shavuot through a wilderness now of unknowns. Yet more. For Achrei Mot also reflects our ancient commemoration of Yom Kippur. Much of the portion describes the ritual of what came to be called the scapegoat, wherein the transgressions of the Israelites and the priests are transferred to a goat, which is driven away into the wilderness, never to return. Another goat is offered as a sin offering, with its blood used as purification in the tabernacle, and then later on, of course, in the temple. So listen to verses 20 to 22 of chapter 16 of Leviticus. Those of you who may have a Plot Chumash would be invited to follow along on page 772. When he, and here of course we're talking of the high priest, has finished purging the shrine, the tent of meeting and the altar, the live goat shall be brought forward. Aaron shall lay both his hands upon the head of the live goat and confess over it all the iniquities and transgressions of the Israelites, whatever their sins, putting them on the head of the goat. And it shall be sent off to the wilderness through a designated individual. Thus shall the goat carry on it all their iniquities to an inaccessible region, and the goat shall be set free in the wilderness. Now, the goat was simply a ritual device, if you will, to carry the sins of the people away. In some sense, perhaps, to our casting of crumbs into the waters on Rosh Hashanah with Tashlich, to allow us to go on to a life of holiness. And the English word scapegoat, formed by the combination of two words of escape and goat. In our text and ritual, the goat here in Torah was never blamed. The process of placing the blame for the wrongdoings of others on the scapegoat came much later. And we as Jews know far too well the horrors that come from scapegoating. Our history is full of times when we as Jews have been scapegoated. Wrote my colleague, Rabbi Joe Black, who is senior rabbi of Temple Emmanuel in Denver. Scapegoating is, in essence, an attempt to externalize our fears and find ways to explain away those things which plague our society. It is a refusal to accept responsibility for our failures. And in the midst of this pandemic, we have seen some of the worst of human behavior. Scapegoating far too many people, often led by those who should strive to bring us together rather than set us up one against the other. From the scapegoating of Chinese Americans to the ongoing undercurrent of dehumanization, from conspiracy theories about perhaps the deep state to various tropes used to purportedly deny us of our religious freedoms. At the same time, Kedoshim Tihiyu, you shall be holy. Why? For I, the eternal your God, am holy. We are holy not when we want to be nice. We are holy when we do what God wants of us, what God, our parent, expects us to do. The verses from Kedoshim are concerned with how each and every one of us should act in the here and now of this world, how we must act to bring God into this world and touch holiness. And you know the words so well, words that we read each and every Yom Kippur, words from the heart of Torah, Leviticus chapter 19, verses 9 to 18. Again, in the Chumashim, if you have the plout on page 798. When you reap the harvest of the land, you shall not reap all the way to the edges of your field or gather the gleanings of your harvest. You shall not pick your vineyard bare or gather the fallen fruit of your vineyard. You shall leave them for the poor and the stranger. I, the Eternal, am your God. You shall not steal. You shall not deal deceitfully or falsely with one another. You shall not swear falsely by my name, profaning the name of your God. I am the Eternal. You shall not defraud your fellow. You shall not commit robbery. The wages of a laborer shall not remain with you until morning. You shall not insult the deaf nor place a stumbling block before the blind. You shall fear your God. I am the Eternal. You shall not render an unfair decision. Do not favor the poor or show deference to the rich. Judge your kin fairly. Do not deal basely with members of your people. Do not profit by the blood of your fellow. I am the Eternal. You shall not hate your kinsfolk in your heart. Reprove your kin, but incur no guilt on their account. You shall not take vengeance or bear a grudge against members of your people. Love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Eternal. The entire chapter reminds us how to be holy, doing all the acts of God to honor not only our parents and those nearest to us, but to ensure that those without power, that the weakest in our midst are also God's children and must be treated in the same way we would ourselves. Perhaps this is a time where we remember those we call essential. Not only our medical professionals and healers who seek to preserve and save lives, but also those who deliver our mail and packages and work to bring us our food and help us to raise our children, who care for our elderly, those who are doing God's work. And we continue to remember this when the pandemic is over. I marvel again at all the Gemilut Chasadim, at all the acts of loving kindness. I see people performing for neighbors and for others they do not know and had never met. Folks making masks and feeding the hungry. Folks holding hearts and bringing smiles. Folks who bring music and comedy to lift our spirits. This is how we become holy. At the very least, this pandemic should remind us that we are all equally vulnerable, all interconnected, all of us brothers and sisters, all of us children of God. And perhaps, once we come out of the narrow straits of this pandemic, after death, we shall be holy. As God feeds the hungry, we feed the hungry. As God heals the sick, we heal the sick. As God shelters the homeless, we shelter the homeless. Now more than ever, so must we. As we continue now with the counting of the Omer, you will find it on page 570 or before you on the screen.
הנני מוכן ומזומן לקיים מצוות עשה של ספירת העומר. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו על ספירת העומר. היום 23 יום, שהם 3 שבועות ושני ימים לעומר. Today is the 23rd day, that is to say, 3 weeks and 2 days in the counting of the Omer.
So we rise, continuing with Aleinu, page 586.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצון ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב עיקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו וגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו וזולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד.
Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all, created in your image, become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth and the word of your prophet fulfilled. The eternal will reign forever and ever.
ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts turn now to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and of death. As we take a few moments to meditate silently, those of you with Sidurim can find some meditations between the pages of 592 and 597. And those without, on any other prayers your own hearts may prompt. In a moment, we'll remember the friends and relatives of our congregation who have gone before us into life eternal. We have been trying during this time that we're not in the synagogue to share their names on a screen here, since we are not at the synagogue where the names would be with our memorial plaques. If a name is not yet there, please know that the slide was then made before we may have received some of the names, and we will continue to get better at this. And so I invite you to rise in loving memory as your dear ones' names are mentioned. We remember tonight the names of Susan B. Dorff, Francis Rott, Kurt Jacobson, Kathy Soames, David M. Sweetwood, Idispat Shmuel Vedina, Carl Rhines, Thomas L. Miller, Alice Briskin-Scholler, Robert Ackerman, James A. Englander, Susan Ann Zukro-Makovich, and Rabbi Kenneth Rosen, who were laid to rest recently. We remember also Norman S. Abrahams, David Ashley, Louis Baer, Sarah Schwenger-Birdie, Archie Berkowitz, Saul Berkowitz, Alexander Berman, Marla Schneiderman-Berman, Beatrice Balansky, Louis Kahn Bloom, Ann W. Browdy, Betty Carlsruhe, Louis Castleman, Buzz Cody, Dora Cahotis, Ogle Donat Eder, Faye Federley, Marvin Glasspiegel, Ruth P. Goodsit, Fanny Shutkin Grossman, Robert L. Hirsch, Alan A. Hinden, Rabbi Samuel Hirschberg, Douglas G. Holtz, Robert L. Hurwitz, Max L. Carl, Jeffrey Cash, Sam Kessler, Esther Klieger, Marianne Kahns, Ida Kalikow, Carol Lauer, Gerald Malman, Earl Skip Matris, Faye Matris, Doris E. Mayer, Jean Mayer, Roger W. L. McConnell, David Newlander, Nathan Passion, Julia Pentler Peck, Bertha W. Peerless, Rose Perlson, Donald M. Ross, Marshall Rotter, Arthur Schmidman, Thomas Schmidman, Abraham Siegel, Lois Schumo, Louis Silverman, Lillian R. Spracker, Christelle Stern, Louis S. Stern, Ruth E. Stillman, Leonard R. Weiner, Charlotte Wick, Lillian Winograd, Miriam J. Wolf, and Paul Zitron, whose anniversary of death is remembered at this time. Those of you at home who may have other dear ones who have left you and are in mourning or in Yortzeit may wish to mention their names at this time. We also remember those who perished in the Shoah who have no Yortzeits. Zichronam livracha. May their memories forever be a blessing. As we ask those of us who have gathered with those who mourn to join with them in the words of Kaddish before you on the screen or on page 598 in the Sidurim. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. V'alma divrak yerbutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei l'chol Beit Yisrael. V'agala v'zman peri v'imru amen. V'hei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei tekudsha b'rechu. Le'elam in kol birchata v'shirata. Tushtechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who makes peace in the high heavens above send peace down here to us, to all Israel, and to all the world, as together we all say, amen. I'm going to make the announcements relatively quickly because I am afraid, since we're doing technology, the battery on my phone is about to die, and I will transfer then during our closing song to a different computer. So before it goes out, let me first say that using technology like this on Shabbat is still odd and alien for me. I've never done it before on Shabbos. Shabbos is the time to turn it all off. And so as we try to do Shabbos this way, if I'm going to be using technology, I can't believe I'm about to say this, we should be embracing all of technology then on Shabbat. And so we'll be looking for other ways to share services with you, not only on Shabbat, where we're at least traditionally limited doing this, but during the rest of the week too. We've been using Facebook Live, and maybe we'll be using it in other ways, even during our Shabbat services. After our closing song, we will be continuing, for those of you who'd like to stay with us, with Benchlicht and Kiddush led by the Kanzas at their home, where they're going to invite us in, and blessings there. And just so you know, we will be continuing tomorrow our Shabbat morning study minyan at 9 o'clock and Havdalah together at 7:30. Schmoozing with Susan on Sunday, 6:13, which was going to be here soon. We've moved to 9:13, and God willing, we'll be all together with them and in our sanctuary at that time as we honor our cantor during the year of the cantor. I'm sure there are other announcements, Cantor or Andrew. Anything else to share at the moment?
No.
Nothing? No.
And in that case, we will continue with our closing song, Oziv Zimrat Yah. You'll find it before you or in the Sidurim, page 647.
Vaya Gili
My strength, balanced with the song of God, will be my salvation. Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos, everyone. We're going to give you a couple of minutes to gather your families together or to gather your candles and Kiddush cup and challah together. And as you do, eventually will be turned in and turned over to Rich and Andrea Kahns. We'll be sharing with them in their home in candle lighting and Kiddush. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom and Shabbat Shalom, Rich, Andrea. Thank you for sharing with us and inviting us into your home. In a moment, we will be able to see in front of you, Andrea, what you'll read, and then the cantor will lead us in chanting the blessings as you lead us in lighting at your homes and we light in ours.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom. And before you in a moment, in addition to the kanzas, you will find some of the traditional blessings that we share with those nearest and dearest to us, our spouses, our partners, our children. Eventually the ones for the children will appear after these words for our partners, our spouses, whatever other words you want to ask God to bestow, whatever blessings you would like God to bestow upon those whom you love the most, as we take a few moments to do so now. Shabbat Shalom. And Rich, I assume we're going to be, well, we are in your house. You'll find the English before you, which if you would lead us as you help lead us in Kiddush, and then the cantor will lead all of us in chanting.
The seventh day is consecrated to Adonai our God. With wine, our symbol of joy, we celebrate this day and its holiness. We give thanks for all our blessings, for life and health, for work and rest, for home and love and friendship. On Shabbat, eternal sign of creation, we remember that we are created in the divine image. We therefore raise the cup in thanksgiving.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinechaltanu zikaron le'maaseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila lemikraei kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinechaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
As before you, if you don't know the words, Motzi will appear, and together with the cantor, we'll join together in Motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon.
Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos. And what we've been doing for those of you who are on the Zoom part of the service as opposed to streaming or Facebook Live is we're kind of going to do a little zoneg afterwards. We're going to just let this continue. For those of you who'd like to say hello to each other, talk to each other. So this is going to continue informally. For all of you who'd like to stay and just talk, Shabbat Shalom.